Hello everybody, welcome to JAIIB CAIIB English Medium channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine. As you know that the exam is approaching for Indian economy and Indian financial system, we have only limited weeks left now. And when we talk about the most important topics, we must know by now. So today we are conducting module C plus D mini marathon. Likewise, we will be conducting the mini marathon for module A and B as well. And not only for IIFS, for other subjects also, like we have the PPB subject, then AFM, RBWM. So stay tuned to this channel because in the last weeks of preparation, we will be maximizing our efforts for all of you, and we want you guys to replicate the same. Okay, so what is the agenda for this session? You will be given questions from module C and D of IIFS, and what we expect from you, that you will reply, you will show the participation, so that we come to know that our students, whether they are ready for the examination or we have to work something extra. First question in front of you: which of the following statement with respect to the SHGs, the self-help group, is incorrect? So you have to tell me the incorrect statement regarding the SHGs. As you know that in the DFIs we have read various terms, terminologies relating to SIDBI, how it evolved, and under SIDBI and NABARD, we have good amount of loans refinanced for the SHGs. So what is the incorrect statement here with respect to SHGs? Lending to SHGs constitute part of priority sector lending of the banks. Financing to SHGs by banks are refinanced up to an extent of 90% by NABARD. Advances to SHGs are excluded as part of lending to the weaker sections, or loans to SHGs are provided collateral free. So we all know that SHGs are an integral part of the weaker sections category. They also form a part of the priority sector lending in the banks via weaker sections. As well as when I talk about the statement D, that loans are provided collateral free to the SHGs. That is also correct. But what about the refinancing or the financing to the SHGs, which has been refinanced by the NABARD, whether it is 90% or something else? So yes, this is incorrect statement. B is wrong because it is not 90%. It is beyond 90 as well. Okay. So do remember that there is no maximum cap when the NABARD refinances your SHG loans. Which among the following is are not salient features of the amendments made to Chapter 3B of the RBI Act in 1997 under the regulatory oversight of NBFCs? So we have NBFCs as the basic, you can say, financial institutions who are there for lending activities. And there are various features which have been amended from time to time in order to make some more regulatory framework for the NBFCs. And when we talk about the amendments which were done back in 1997 to the Chapter 3 of RBI Act, there were certain features to that. Which of the four statements do not form the feature list of that particular amendment? So making it mandatory for NBFCs to obtain COR, that is Certificate of Registration from RBI. Making it mandatory for NBFCs to maintain a minimum level of NOF, that is Net Owned Fund. Requiring all the NBFCs to create a reserve fund and to transfer a sum which is not less than 10% of their profits every year. So do remember this particular type of statement, because ultimately whenever we talk about the NBFC's oversight, the percentages are very important along with the NOF. Empowering RBI to file winding up petitions against NBFCs. So whether it was the amendment or not, uh, when we say that option A, B, and D, all the three were the amendments made for the regulatory oversight of NBFCs. Other three, you can say, these are correct. C is wrong, requiring all the NBFCs to create a reserve fund and to transfer a sum which is not less than 10% of their profit. No, this cannot be managed because NBFCs already have funds crunch. The regulatory minimum NOF, that is net owned fund, for NBFC ICC, NBFC MFI, and NBFC factors, three types of NBFCs, shall be increased to dash as per the scale based regulation. So do remember, the SBRs are very, very important till 2027. Originally it was mentioned in the framework, but the recent amendments were there, and this particular framework has been amended. But yes, this particular limit was there as well, not amended. So the right answer will be, it should be increased to 10 crore. So 10 CR will be the right answer here. Here you can see that as on you can say March 2025, the amendment was that we will be going towards 10 crore by March 31, 2027. Right now, we have 5 CR as the NBFC ICC. We will move towards 10 crore by March 31st, 2027. Net yes, this is the net on fund. Current net on fund is 2 CR. MFIs, again, we talk about by March 2027, you will have 10 CR, and factors also, it will be 10 CR. So do remember the last column, right? This is highly important. Then we have LIC, the Life Insurance Corporation was established in which among the following phases of financial reforms in India? So we have various phases when we talk about the financial reforms. What was the phase under which we have established LIC? So it was phase 2. Okay, phase 2 will be the right answer. Here you can see the various phases. Pre-independence phase 1 prior to 1947, phase 2 post-independence 47 to 91, post-liberalization 91 to 2010, and post-GFC, the global financial crisis, 2010 till present. Now let's have a statement-based question. These questions are favorite of IIBF, the multi-statement questions. Which among the following are the recommendations of PJ Nayak committee? So we have 4 statements in front of us to look into various problems related to bank boards, such as standards of specification, policy, legal, etc., and to suggest measures to be taken, whether this was the right approach, or for that matter the recommendation of PJ Nayak committee, that you should have various problems addressed to the related bank boards. To examine the working of bank boards, issue of strategy, growth, governance, and risk management in the banks. To review the RBI guidelines on government ownership in the bank. So yes, when we talk about the economic reforms, there was some guidelines issued by the RBI on the government ownership in banks. Whether it was suggested by PJ Nayak committee or not, that is the question. To analyze the work, conflict of interest, and independence in the bank board and make the suggestions towards the same. So what will be the right statement here? Correctly, it is the all of the above. 1, 2, 3, and 4 all are the right statements when we talk about the PJ Nayak committee recommendation, because this committee only solved the problem of various you can say domains, like we have the policy framework differently earlier, legal framework was different, and we do not have any kind of redressal mechanism which was addressed by this committee's recommendation only via the bank boards. Then we have to examine the working of these bank boards, along with that issue the strategy, growth, governance, and as well as the risk management in the banks, that was also ensured. RBI need to, RBI announced in fact after this particular committee's recommendation that we must have certain stakes apart from the government ownership in the banks. And obviously, to analyze the work, conflict of interest, independence in the bank boards, also make the suggestions towards the same. It was done by PJ Nayak committee, a very important committee for our examination. Next, we have the paid up capital for establishing the scheduled banks in India must be at least how much? So what will be the right answer here? Whenever we talk about the scheduled banks in our country, they must have a paid up capital. And what is the minimum paid up capital which should be there? Whether it is 5 lakh, 10 lakh, 5 CR, or 10 CR. The right answer will be 5 lakh. That is the minimum ask for the paid up capital. Which among the following statement is incorrect with respect to NaBFID, that is National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development, NaBFID. So as you know, this particular bank, so-called bank, is for financing the infra development projects in our country. So you have to select the most appropriate answer. The NaBFID has only developmental objects, whether it is the right statement or not, only the development objectives there. NaBFID does not take the deposits from the general public, whether it takes the deposits or not from the general public. The government initially holds 100% of the shares in the bank, which may subsequently be reduced to 26%. You have to tell me the incorrect, fine, incorrect statement. Do keep this particular word in your mind. The NaBFID was set up as a corporate body with an authorized share capital of rupees 1 lakh crore. So organization based questions, again, very, very important for the exam. NaBFID, when we talk about NaBFID, it is not only for the developmental objectives to, have some profit also. That was also the objective. So this is a wrong statement. Rest, we talk about the NaBFID, that yes, it does not take the deposit from the general public. Absolutely correct. The government initially holds 100% of the shares, and subsequently it will be reduced to 26%. That is also correct. The NaBFID was set up as a corporate body. Authorized share capital was indeed rupees 1 lakh crore. Which among the following is the provisions mentioned in the Section 25 of Banking Regulation Act 1949? So we have four statements in front of us. You have to tell me that which is the right option. So the provisions mentioned in Section 24, the Section 24 talks about what of the Banking Regulation Act, whether it is for CRR, SLR, MSF or SDF. Mind it, all the four, they are somewhere down the line part of the RBI's monetary policy tools. So the correct answer will be Section 24 is dedicated for SLR, okay, in the Banking Regulation Act 1949. Anybody who can tell me that CRR is mentioned in which act, whether it is in the RBI Act or the Banking Regulation Act? Do let me know in the comment section. Which among the following was the first DFI, the Development Financial Institution, to be established in India? So whenever we talk about the DFIs, the chronology becomes automatically important, because the last time also in May 2025, we have seen the chronological order based question from the DFIs itself. The first you can say option is IFCI, Industrial Finance Corporation of India. NaBFID, that is National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. We have seen that this is somewhat a new bank. National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, the NABARD refinancing agency also. Then we have NHB, the National Housing Bank. The right answer for this question will be the first DFI in India was IFCI, Industrial Finance Corporation of India. Do remember this. Dash was the first DFI to be listed in New York Stock Exchange, the NYSE. So when we talk about the DFI which was enlisted in the NYSC, whether it was ICICI, IDBI, NABARD, or SFCs, the State Financial Corporation. Definitely, the first one was ICICI, Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India. Earlier, when it was established, it was not a bank. Okay, the banking functions somewhat were there, but full-fledged banking services were not provided by ICICI. Right now, we see this as a bank, only a full-fledged private sector bank, leading private sector bank, we can say. Which among the following microfinance institutions which are for profit? So you have to tell me which of the following are there for profit only. No developmental function is there. MFIs, which are the societies, the microfinance institutions having the features of the societies. Mutual benefit MFIs, NBFCs, MFIs, or all of the above. So yes, the correct answer will be the NBFCs, which are microfinancial institutions. NBFCs under MFIs will be the particular institutions which are working for profit maximization. So here you can see MFIs as per NABARD. MFIs are defined as those which provide thrift. Thrift is what? That you are trying to upscale something. Credit and other financial services and products of very small amounts, very, very small amounts. Fine. That is the basic meaning of microfinance. Okay. Mainly to poor in rural, semi-urban, urban areas for enabling them to raise their income level and improve the living standard. So always remember, microfinance institutions are there to provide funding of very small amounts and specifically to the poor section of society in rural areas, semi-urban and urban areas. And what is the reason why they provide these services to such segment of society? So that they can raise their income level. So why I am highlighting these things? Because mostly we have seen sometimes direct question has been asked from the MFIs that what is their role. Along with that, improve the living standards as well. A variety of MFIs that cater to the need of poor exist in India, and there are around 900 MFIs. Now, though they are more than 900, but initially it was 900 only, with the different legal forms according to which MFIs are categorized under three types. So, largely, when we say broadly speaking, there are three types of MFIs only in our country. First one, the not-for-profit MFIs, like we have the societies registered under the SRA, Societies Registration Act 1860. These are for not for profit. They also include trust set up under the Indian Trust Act 1882 and the not-for-profit companies established under Section 25 of the Companies Act 1956. Now, when we talk about the Companies Act 1956, it is also involved while defining the not-for-profit MFIs. Mutual benefit MFIs, these include state and national cooperatives, mutually aided cooperative societies, set up under the Mutually Aided Cooperative Societies Act, which was enacted by the government of Andhra Pradesh. So some things you have to remember, you have to mug up because they are directly part of MFIs. And when you talk about the acts for which we have specific categorization of MFIs, they are very, very important. Then we have for the profit MFIs, simply you have to remember NBFC's MFIs category. It is here for making the profit. Okay. So MFIs are very important, you can say, organization or the institution from where regularly IIBF asks the questions. Next, we have which among the following are the insurance depositors licensed presently by the IRDAI. So IRDAI has provided various licenses to your insurance depositories. Which of the following is the right answer? So whether NSDL Database Management Limited is the right answer, Central Insurance Repository Limited, SHCIL Projects Limited, Carvi Insurance Repository Limited. What is the right answer for the insurance depositories licensed by the IRDAI? So the right answer will be option D, that is all of the above. So do remember, all these four are the insurance depositories having a license from IRDAI. This question I think has been asked in the previous exam cycle, so you can make a note out of it. Which among the following are the features of e-insurance account? What is e-insurance account? You must know. Only then you will be able to mention the exact features. Each e-insurance account has a unique account number. Each account holder is granted a login ID and password to access their e-policies. Whether you have a unique account number as there is in the banks, insurance account is offered free of cost to the applicants. No service charges are there. An individual who does not have insurance policy cannot open an insurance account. So what is the right answer? The correct answer will be option A, that is 1 and 2 only. Even if you do not have insurance policy, you still can open the e-insurance account. That is why third statement is wrong. 1 and 2 will be the right answer. Then NARCL, a very important company. The concept of bad bank in India is to have National Asset Reconstruction Company coupled with the debt resolution company. That is what? Okay. So be very careful while answering such question. We are talking about the concept of bad bank. So bad bank, how they are defined in our country? We have one asset reconstruction company, the National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited. We have to club this with one debt resolution company. What is the name of this debt resolution company? Whether it is IDRCL, the India Debt Resolution Co Limited, NaBFID, NADRCL, that is the National Debt Resolution Company Limited, or for that matter, we have Asset Management Company of India Limited, AMC of India Limited. The right answer, NARCL plus we have the IDRCL, that is India Debt Resolution Co Limited. A very important question, a very important piece of information. From here, we can expect a question this time. Then it is expected that the sale of bad loans to the National Asset Reconstruction Company will be against how many cash percentage and balance dash being in the form of security receipts. Right. So what will be the correct answer here when we talk about the sale of the bad loans to the NARCL? How much percentage will be provided in the cash, and the balance amount apart from the cash will be in the form of security receipts or SRs. So again, the right answer will be option A only. 15% in cash, 85% the remaining amount in the SRs or security receipts. Section 17 of RBI is related to which of the following? So section 17 directly talks about what? So it talks about your business permitted to be conducted by the RBI. So all those businesses which are permitted can be conducted by the RBI. They are mentioned under the section 17 of RBI Act. After that, we have one question related to the provisions, very important part, provisioning norms. Provisions related to CRR, that is cash reserve ratio, are mentioned in which among the following sections of your RBI Act? So do remember in the overall setup also, whenever you are studying the chapter where we have the BRA, Banking Regulation Act, and also we have the RBI Act. These are very, very important. Fine. Do not just try to, remember or memorize the important ones. Also try to highlight the not so important sections as well, because ultimately what will happen, IIBF will ask you from anything. They can ask you from anything, anywhere. So the right answer will be what? Which section for provisions? It is section 42, the CRR. Which among the following statements is are correct with respect to non-banking financial company, the NBFC deposit taking? So we have various types of NBFCs which we have seen, MFIs, then we have deposit taking also. So what is the right answer? Which of the following is the correct statement? NBFCs are allowed to accept and renew the public deposits for a minimum period of 12 months, maximum period of 60 months. They cannot accept deposits repayable on demand. So repayable on demand, whether they can accept or not. NBFCs cannot offer gifts or incentives or any other additional benefit to the depositors. The deposits with NBFCs are insured. So what is the right answer? Whether they are insured or not? The right answer will be 1 and 2 only. The deposits are not insured. Otherwise, why they are NBFC? Okay, if they are insured only, then they are replicating the banking function only. Fine. So NBFCs, yes, they are allowed to accept and renew the public deposit. Minimum period of 12 months, maximum 5 years or 60 months. Also, they cannot accept the deposits repayable on demand. So demand deposit is not acceptable. Then we have NBFCs cannot offer gifts or incentive or any other additional benefit to the depositors, like we have with the banks, where we tend to provide them with certain additional points, reward points, like that. Some incentives are given to the customers, but here in NBFCs you cannot do such things. Okay, A is the right answer. Which among the following committee has been constituted to make recommendations with respect to microfinance institutions? So we have MFIs. Okay, under the MFIs you have various regulations which you need to remember. The first one being which committee has basically tried to regularize the MFIs in our country. So it was recommended by YH Malegam committee, a landmark committee, I would say. Very, very important. If you have not studied the YH Malegam committee, highly recommended. After this session, go and flip through the pages of YH Malegam committee. Okay, Nachiket More committee was for the differentiated banks, and for the establishment of IRDAI was RN Malhotra committee. Then we have one question on Narasimham Committee. Which among the following is our recommendations of the Narasimham Committee 1, 1991? So we have two committees, 1991 and 1996-7. Both these are very, very important, especially the second one. But let's see for the first one what the question states. The statement one states that establishment of four-tier hierarchy for banking structure was the recommendation. A phased reduction in SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, was one of the recommendation. Phased achievement of 10% CAR, the capital adequacy ratio. So as you know that SLR right now it has the maximum limit of 40%, and for today you can remember that June 2025 the SLR has been 18%. So what is the right answer? The recommendations for your Narasimham committee? Yes, indeed, it is option A only. 1 and 2 will be the correct answer here. 1 and 2. The phase achievement of 10% CAR was not one of the recommendation of your Narasimham committee. Okay, so here you have the elaborate discussion of the Narasimham committee 1. Establishment of four-tier hierarchy for banking structure with 3 to 4 large banks, including SBI. So do remember that these types of recommendations have been made by Narasimham Committee 1. And right now what we are seeing the consolidation of banking, consolidation of the banking in our nation. So consolidation of various banks. We want to have two banks at least in the top 100 category overall in the globe. So all these things are what? They are to achieve the consolidation itself. So nonetheless, when you talk about the Narasimham committee, you must have the four-tier hierarchy for the banking structure. 3 to 4 large banks must be there at the top, and at the bottom, rural banks engaged in the agri activity. So that is the major consolidation process, which we see right now also happening, because we have consolidated the RRBs. Right? Now we have one RRB in one state. Earlier there were multiple RRBs. The supervisory functions over bank and financial institutions to be assigned to quasi autonomous body sponsored by RBI. Quasi autonomous means some you can say decision will be made by the body independently, some will be regulated by the RBI. A phased reduction in SLR. Yes, we need to reduce SLR so that the liquidity is there with the banks. Phased achievement of 8% of your capital adequacy ratio. So always remember capital adequacy ratio, the target was 8%. Abolition of branch licensing policy. Then branch licensing should not be there. Even if you are opening a new branch, you should not need a license, right, from the RBI. Proper classification of asset and full disclosure of accounts of banks, financial institution. Yes, proper classification must be there of all those assets. Deregulation of interest rates. So earlier every bank was having the same rate of interest to be offered. No competitive rate of interest was there. So that need to be deregulated, and in order to imbibe the story of competitiveness in our economy, in our banking system, it was highly important. Setting up an ARF, asset reconstruction fund, to take over the portion of the stressed asset loan portfolio of the bank. Okay, NARCL, mostly you can see that from here only, from this recommendation only, it was established. NARCL. Okay, next question. As per section 4 of the RBI Act, what is the paid up capital of the bank? So paid up capital of the bank will be what? Whether it is 2 CR, 5 CR, 10 CR or 15 CR. Paid up capital will be your 5 CR as per section 4 of RBI Act. Okay, do remember according to the Act, what is the exact number that we have to mug up for our exam. As per section 13 of the RBI Act, meetings of central board shall be convened by the governor at least how many times in each year, whether it is 2 years, 4 years, 6 years or 3 years. So again, the meeting must be convened by the central board after every 6 months minimum. After every 6 months, you can call the meeting earlier also, but the threshold which you should not breach, it is 6 months. The minimum loan size for equipment finance under SIDBI, Make in India Soft Loan Fund for MSMEs, known as SIDBI Smile, is what? Now there is a table in the book also, and we have covered in our classes as well, that talks about the initiatives of SIDBI. And most importantly, these you can say initiatives, they can directly asked in the examination. So the full form can be asked what is the full form of SIDBI Smile? You must remember the full form of SIDBI as well as Smile. Then the minimum loan quantum which you can finance, like that. All these things you must remember. So for this question, minimum loan size for the equipment finance is option B, 10 lakh. That is the minimum amount which you can get financed. Here for your reference, I have added that table. SIDBI, Make in India Soft Loan Fund for MSMEs, that is SMILE. What is the loan amount here? Minimum loan size of rupees 10 lakh for the equipment finance. Minimum loan size for other will be 25 lakh. So always remember the bifurcations as well. Then loan tenure up to 10 years, 3-year moratorium is there, but that is included in this 10-year term. Then we have the Smile Equipment Finance. That is a different, you can say a separate loan scheme from the Smile. That is Smile Equipment Finance SEF. The minimum loan amount stands at again 10 lakh, and the loan tenure is 72 months. 72 months means 6 years. Then we have loans under the partnership with OEM, that is original equipment manufacturer. Up to rupees 1 CR, you can have the loan amount, and the loan tenure can be up to 5 years. After that, we have the working capital cash credit limit. It depends upon the financial appraisal, and the loan tenure stands at as per the term and condition of this facility. So always remember the tables which are given in the book, they are highly important. Do not skip them. Then we have SIDBI, loan for purchase of equipment for enterprises development, that is speed. For speed, what you have to remember is up to 100% of the machinery cost subject to maximum 1 crore will be the loan amount for new to bank customers, and 2 crore for the existing customers. The loan tenure will be 2 years, which include 2 to 5 years, which includes 3 to 6 moratorium period as well. Apart from speed, two more are important schemes. Otherwise, if you have time and you want to, see every scheme, you can pause the video and see for yourself. But for now, if we want to discuss, we will be discussing these two as well. That is Tulip and Star. So top up loan for immediate purposes, again provided by SIDBI, 30% of the existing exposure of whatever loan you have, or 20% of your net sales in the enterprise, subject to maximum of 2 CR. So 2 crore will be the maximum loan amount. And again, the loan tenure is 5 years, which includes your 6 months moratorium. Then we have STAR, that is SIDBI Term Loan Assistance for rooftop solar PV plants. So for solar panels, you have a maximum limit of 2.5 CR, and the minimum loan amount is 10 lakh, up to 5 years, including 3 to 6 months moratorium. Again, I'm reiterating the fact the tables are very, very important. Next, we have the question based on the RBI's Direction 2022. As per the RBI Regulatory Framework for Microfinance Loans Directions 2022, a microfinance loan is defined as a collateral-free loan giving given to the household having annual household income up to what? What is the annual household income which you must have? Okay, so the particular microfinance loan for those entities, enterprises whose annual household income is up to dash will get the collateral free loan. So the right answer will be 3 lakh. It should be up to 3 lakh, not beyond that. Asset finance company in India is one whose income arises out of the principal business, and it is not less than dash of its total asset and total income. So asset finance company, it is defined, well defined in our country, based on the net profit as well as your total asset and total income. So the principal business from the asset refinancing only, it should be 60%, not less than 60% of its total asset and total income. To remember this limit as well. Next, we have the price discovery in the financial markets. It is affected by which among the following? So five options are there. And when you talk about the price discovery, how you will be stipulating a particular price level in the financial market, whether it depends upon the supply and demand, attitudes towards risk, volatility, the funds, available information, or market mechanism. Indeed, when you talk about this question, all the five are correct. Supply demand also measures your price discovery. It contributes towards the price discovery. Risk also, the risk appetite, volatility, available information regarding various products, and market mechanisms as well. So the correct answer will be option D. Then we have which among the following statements is are correct with respect to the payment banks. So payment banks in India, they were a hit back in 2018-19 with the advent of Paytm payment bank. But right now, somewhere down the line, people are having more inhibitions about the payment banks after the penalty was levied on the Paytm payment bank. Okay, so they are not opening their deposit accounts more as they were in the 2018 era. So first statement, you have to tell me the correct one, right? Payment banks can accept deposits of up to rupees 3 lakh per customer, whether this is right. The money received as deposits can be invested in government securities which are eligible for inclusion in SLR, the statutory liquidity ratio. They are permitted to issue the debit cards, although not the credit card. So credit cards can be issued or not. Payment banks cannot lend. So no lending activities can be done by the payments bank. So the correct answer for this particular question will be again option B, that is 2, 3, and 4. They can accept deposit up to 3 lakh, or what is the limit? Do let me know in the comment section what is the exact limit. But when we talk about the SLR option, or for that matter debit card, they can, but credit card they cannot, and also they cannot lend. That these are correct. As per the section dash of the Banking Regulation Act, gives RBI gives the license to the bank. So which section is mentioned in the Banking Regulation Act via which RBI provides the license to your banks? So the right answer will be option C, that is section 22. How much was the minimum deposit of banks that were nationalized in 1969? A very important question. It has been directly asked in May 2025 examination. So nationalization phase 1 occurred in 1969. What was the minimum deposit of the banks which were nationalized during that era? So it was 50 CR minimum deposit. Which among the following committees has recommended the establishment of universal banks? So whether it was Narasimham Committee 1, Narasimham Committee 2, the Hote Committee, or Sodhani Committee. So the establishment of universal banks was by the Narasimham Committee 2. Do not get confused between 1 and 2. The universal banks were specifically mentioned in your Narasimham Committee 2 only. Okay, the Hote and Sodhani were both formed in the context of India's financial sector reforms and capital account liberalization. So always remember the reforms for the financial sector in our country and the capital account liberalization was provided by the Hote and Sodhani committee. Which among the following do not fall under the provisions of Banking Regulation Act of 1949? So we have the scheduled commercial banks in the Banking Regulation Act, state cooperatives, we have the private banks also. What about state cooperative agriculture and rural development banks known as CARBs? So yes, the right answer will be D. They are not under the provision of your Banking Regulation Act. Okay, we have the CARBs here, but before that, you must know that primary agricultural credit society, these are for the village level and are not covered under the Banking Regulation Act, and same is applicable for the SCARBs as well. So PACs as well as CARBs, these are two you can say societies which are not covered under the Banking Regulation Act. Which among the following is the correct sequence of establishment of DFIs? Direct question has been asked in the previous exam cycle. So you have to tell me the chronological order here. Whether IDBI came first, IFCI came first, EXIM or SIDBI, which was the first one to come. So we have seen in the previous questions also, IFCI was the first one to come. So for third, we have one as the right answer, and if you can eliminate others, the right answer will be option B only. So first of all, IFCI came, then came IDBI, then after that we have the Exim Bank, and then the SIDBI. So the right answer will be what? 3, 1, 2, 4. Yes, B is the right answer. Which among the following DFIs is not a specialized financial institution? So we have four options in front of us. The specialized financial institution we have to eliminate and arrive at an answer which is not a specialized financial institution. So yes, the UTI is not a specialized financial institution. Exim, NABARD and TFCI, all the three perform a specialized function. Okay, so yes, specialized are these: Exim, TDICI, NABARD and TFCI. Development banks also you must know: IFCI, IDBI, ICICI, SCICI. Then we have SIDBI and NaBFID. Investment institutions are LIC and UTI. Okay, always remember only two investment institutions are there right now under the category of DFIs. Now let's move on to the next module, that is module D. Okay, now we will be solving the questions of module D, where we have the first question in front of us. Mr. Sharma invested rupees 1 lakh in a short-term bond fund. After 9 months, the market value of his investment grew at 1 lakh 8,000. Under the absolute return method, what is the absolute return on Mr. Sharma's investment? Simply stated, you have to calculate it using the mutual fund return formula. Okay, we have the investment corpus here. It was 1 lakh, and the value ultimately became 1 lakh 8,000. What is the time? Time was 9 months. So absolute return method you have to utilize and calculate the absolute return of Mr. Sharma's investment. Try to answer, because such questions are expected from module D. So module B and module D in IFS, they have the scope of numerical questions. Okay, formula based on numerical question, whatever you want to call them, there is a scope of asking questions regarding your numbers. So the right answer will be option A, 8%. Here you can see absolute return. We have a formula, specific formula, that is current market value, which was 1 lakh 8,000. Original investment, you have to subtract that from the current market value, that is 1 lakh, divided by the original investment. Again, it is 1 lakh, multiply by 100. So the right answer, after calculating this particular calculation, after doing the calculation here, you will get the correct answer as your 8%. Okay, here you will get the answer as 8%. What happens to the partly damaged products or the goods or the wreck of property that is settled on a total loss basis in an insurance claim? So you have the insurance claim, right? But there is certain amount of, you can say, goods or the property involved which are partly damaged, not total loss. This is referred to as salvage, and after the claim is paid in full, the salvage is what? What do we do with the salvage once the claim has been paid in full? It remains the property of the insured, is divided equally between the insured and the insurance company. It becomes the property of the insurance company, or for that matter, is typically disposed of by the insured to minimize their losses. So what will be the right answer here? The salvage, mostly we have seen, it becomes the property of the insurance company. Why? Because it has been settled on total loss basis. So definitely it will be the property of your insurance company. So always remember, salvage, although it has a partly damaged good or a wreck of property, but it has been settled on the total loss basis. That is why it becomes the property of your insurance company. Is the right answer. Okay, what is the meaning of salvage? In case of claims under various types of insurance policies, partly damaged goods or the wreck of a car or any machinery, other property settled on total loss basis is known as salvage. After settling the claim for full amount, salvage becomes the property of the insurance company. Generally, the job of salvage disposal is entrusted by the insurance company to the surveyor who surveys the entire case, who carried out the loss assessment subject to observance of procedures for your salvage disposal. The amount realized through salvage disposal will be set off by the insurer against the losses paid by them. So always remember, salvage will be part of insurance company's property. Okay, it belongs to insurance company. Next, we have question based on NPS. In the context of national pension scheme, which of the following statements accurately describes the key difference between tier 1 and tier 2 accounts? So we have two types of accounts, tier 1 and tier 2. You have to tell me that what is the correct statement for the NPS. Both tier 1, 2 accounts are mandatory for all the subscribers. Funds in tier 1, tier 2 can be withdrawn by the subscriber whenever they wish, or is there any time limit? Tier 1 is a non-withdrawable retirement account with the withdrawal restriction. Tier 2 is a voluntary savings account with free withdrawal. Okay. Tier 2 accounts are opened and operated independently of Tier 1 accounts. Whether there is a correlation between these two accounts or not, correct answer will be option C. That whenever we talk about the key difference, it will be Tier 1 is non-withdrawable, you cannot withdraw it. But yes, Tier 2 accounts, they have the free withdrawal process. So always remember, the non-withdrawal retirement account is Tier 1 and the tier 2 is voluntary saving accounts with your pre-withdrawal process. Here you can see for yourself, NPS account has two sub accounts, tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 1 account is mandatory and the subscriber has the option for tier 2 account, for subscribing the tier 2 account and opening it and operating it as well. Tier 1 account is non-withdrawable and it is a retirement account which can be withdrawn only upon the meeting the existing conditions prescribed under your NPS. Tier 2 account, this is voluntary savings facility available as on the add-on to your tier 1 account. Holder subscribers will be free to withdraw their savings from this account whenever they wish. So this is very important for our examination, the key difference. The funds contributed by the subscribers are invested by PFRDA, which is the regulator for the pension sector in our country, registered pension fund managers as per the investment guidelines provided by the PFRDA. So always remember, the funds which are contributed by the subscribers, they are invested by PFRDA. Now let's see one scenario based question. Such questions again, they are expected in the examination and the IBF has asked such questions earlier as well. Consider a scenario where an Indian small and medium sized enterprise SME engaged in exporting the leather goods to multiple buyers in different European countries seeks to optimize its working capital. I hope that you are getting the point here. We are talking about the factoring and forfeiting process via a particular case where the Indian SME is engaged in exporting the leather goods. So exporter is the Indian SME and buyer is your different European countries who seek to optimize its working capital and mitigate the risk associated with international receivables. Based on the characteristics of forfeiting and for factoring, which financial instrument would likely be more suitable choice for this SME and why? So whether it should go with the factoring or forfeiting, if it is supplying the leather goods to European countries, what will be the right answer? So definitely when you talk about this particular question, forfeiting or factoring, first you must know that what is the difference between factoring and forfeiting. And after that, you must also know that whether the long-term export is required in the forfeiting or factoring, which is the smaller process out of the two. Only then you will be able to arrive at the right answer, which is your option D. For the factoring will be more apt for this particular case because inclusion of services like collection and credit protection would be particularly beneficial for the SME dealing with diverse international buyers. You have some complexity in the foreign land, so you must go with the factoring process, and also you are having multiple buyers. That is the another reason to pick the factoring here. Okay. So factoring, it is suitable for ongoing open account sales not backed by LCs or accepted bills of exchange. Forfeiting is suitable for one-off transaction which is backed by LC. Short term in nature is factoring, long term is your forfeiting. Long term means you can say that 1 to 5 years. Factoring can be with without recourse, okay, but the forfeiting is always without recourse. That is also one of the major reason why we pick the process of factoring over forfeiting, because we need to go with recourse in the international markets. The factoring requires continuous arrangement between factor and the client, whereby all the sales are routed through factor. All the sales will be routed by the factor only. In the forfeiting, the seller, that is the Indian SME, need not to route other business through the forfeiter. The deals are concluded transaction wise. So this was a favorable point for the Indian SME, but when we see the with recourse, it is a better option to choose. Okay, so what is the right answer? D was the right answer. Next, we have a question based on the regulatory oversight by RBI and the different participation rules for various entities in call or notice money market. Which of the following scenarios is most likely to occur within this particular market? So we have different regulatory oversight defined by the RBI, and in this particular case, you have to tell me whether for the call or notice market, the options which are written here, they are correct or not. So first option is regarding the newly established RRB. Then we have a primary dealer, the scheduled commercial banks excluding RRBs, and select a mutual fund. Take your time and try to answer this question. Yes, so the right answer will be option C, scheduled commercial bank, which excludes the RRBs. Lending call money on an uncollateralized basis to another SCB experiencing a temporary mismatch in the CRR. That is where we have to, manage the ultimate, you can say, call or notice money market. That is where RBI's role is quite crucial. So whenever we have some mismatch in the CRR, then definitely RBI will provide the guidelines under the call or notice money market. When we talk about the banks, they often use the call money market for short-term adjustment to their liquidity, including the CRR maintenance. The lending is typically uncollateralized. Okay, no collateral is involved. Then one question based on tri-party agent. The applicant to become a tri-party agent should have minimum paid up capital, equity share capital of how much? So tri-party agent, you can become with the minimum paid up equity share capital of rupees 25 CR. Always remember, this is very important for the TPAs. Okay, 25 CR will be the right answer. You should have past experience of at least 5 years in the financial sector as well. Then we have a question where you have to tell me the incorrect statement regarding term money market. So TMM, which of the following is incorrect? So whether it is collateralized basis or uncollateralized basis, and what is the time period? If you know these two things, you will be able to solve this question very easily. So the incorrect answer will be term money refers to borrowing or lending of funds for a period of exceeding 14 days and up to 1 year on uncollateralized basis. That is that is the correct answer. Okay, when you talk about option A, this is the apt explanation for your TMM. Yes, this is the right answer. The call notice term money market is a market for trading very short term liquid financial assets. And when you talk about the time period of lending, maybe a period of 1 day, which is known as call money. And when we talk about the term money, it is for exceeding 14 days up to 1 year. So A is the correct answer. 14 days and up to 1 year on uncollateralized basis. The institution which has surplus fund may lend them on uncollateralized basis to an institution with the short funds, the term money. Yes. So TMM was there, na? So for a time period exceeding 14 days and up to 1 year, that is for the uncollateralized basis. This particular question, I think we have to rephrase because here it is mentioned incorrect. Okay. You need to tell me the correct statement. Yes. So the correct answer will be option A. Right. Next question we have in front of us. It is again based on the import factors role in the international factoring. It is typically contingent upon a specific event related to the buyer's payment. Which factoring system triggers the import factors involvement only upon buyer default? So whenever the buyer defaults, we have a particular system which triggers in. Which of the following is that? So the right answer will be single factor system. Okay, double direct import, triple factor. No, that is not correct. We only trigger the single factor system. In this type of factoring, that is the single factor system, import factor comes into focus only if the buyer defaults in making the payment. Okay. Buyer has defaulted, then you will have the import factor in the focus. That particular entity will be financing the entire project in the single factor system. Here also you can see the export factor and the supplier, they are directly connected. Supplier to the buyer, we have the delivery of goods. Factoring agreement is between the export factor and the supplier. Then we have the delivery of goods. After that, again, the assignment has been done from the supplier to the exporter. Then export factor will go for the funding and the buyer will provide the payment for the export factor. Then the import factor will also chip in with the payment if the buyer defaults on the payment. Okay, import factor will come only when the buyer defaults on the payment. The NAV of equity mutual funds index or debt mutual funds are required to be rounded off to how many decimal places respectively. So when we talk about the NAV of equity mutual funds and the index or the debt mutual funds, what should be the round figure? The decimal places 4 for the equity mutual and 2 for the index or debt mutual. Okay, that is the right answer. D is correct. Next, we have one question based on again sum of your formula. Miss Priya owns a boutique that she established 2 years ago with initial investment 20 lakh. So write it down. Investment initial was 20 lakh. She purchased a standard fire insurance policy with a sum insured. Sum insured is how much? It is 15 lakh. Recently, a fire damaged her boutique, resulting in the actual loss. What is the loss here? Loss is rupees 18 lakh. According to the principle of indemnity, you have to calculate the maximum amount of compensation. So whether it will be 18 lakh, the entire loss will be covered, 20 lakh, the investment will be covered, or for that matter, the sum insured will be provided, that is 15 lakh. So the right answer will be yes, none of the above. That is a tricky question. Deliberately, I have made the three options like this because mostly we have seen that students do not go for the none of the above option. In fact, the correct answer will be 13.50 lakh because of this formula. You have the sum insured divided by the value of the insured asset multiplied by the actual loss. That is the formula. And once you substitute the sum insured as 15, the value of your asset as 20 lakh and the actual loss which happened for 18 lakh, you will arrive at the answer for the maximum compensation 13.50 lakh, which is under the principle of indemnity, which states that the insurance company will make the good for your losses. Which type of REIT, real estate investment trust, is specifically required to invest a minimum of 24% of its asset in commercial properties like shopping malls. So we have different categories for the investment trust. Real estate investment trust, where you have to specifically invest minimum 24% of the asset in commercial properties. What is the type? It is your retail REIT. Okay, at least 24% for the retail REIT in the retail store. Office REITs operate in the office space. For mortgage REITs, estimated 10%. Then we have insurance ombudsman. They cannot take up the case. Which of the following case they cannot take up? The complainant has made a representation to the concerned insurance company and insurance has accepted. Whether the insurance has accepted, the insurer, or you can say the insurance company has accepted the claim or the complaint. Now, whether you can go for the insurance ombudsman or not, the claim has not been yet settled, or for that matter, no judgment has been provided. The complaint is made later than 1 year after the insurer had replied. The same complaint is pending in a court. The right answer will be option D. All these are the cases where you cannot approach the insurance ombudsman because the judgment is not out yet. Nobody has replied to yet. It is pending. Either it is pending in the court, or for that matter, you have uh, the time period lapsed in front of you more than 1 year. No complaint will be entertained even in the insurance ombudsman. When we talk about the complainant has approached the concerned insurance company and it has accepted the offer, but they have not made any judgment. Again, it is not possible to go to the insurance ombudsman. So when you talk about the award compensation, it should not exceed rupees 30 lakhs in the case of insurance ombudsman. And when you talk about the representation, it should not be pending in other courts. Then we have real estate investment trust. Select the correct statement. Investing in real estate investment trust is capital intensive as compared to the direct investment in properties. Currently, there are only few REITs in India. REITs are regulated by SEBI and hence the chance of fraud are low. What is the right answer? Quickly tell me. The correct answer will be option B, 2 and 3 only. Okay, these are the correct statements. Because capital intensive, no, they are not capital intensive. It is the other way around. Okay. So when we talk about investing in REIT, it is not capital intensive as compared to the direct investment. The investors in REITs have a tax rate of dash for the interest income to NR unit holder, the non-residential unit holders. So always remember the particular tax rate stands at 5%. Next, again, REIT, very important chapter, right? So which of the following statements regarding the regulations for REITs appears to be or are actually correct? So sponsor to hold not less than 25% of the total units of investment trust for at least 3 years from the date of listing. So whether the percentage of total unit is 25 or for that matter, the 3 years is correct. The special purpose vehicles to hold not less than 80% of assets directly in properties, not invest in other SPVs. Investment trusts to hold controlling interest and not less than 50% equity share capital or interest in the SPVs. Investment trusts to invest not less than 80% of the value in completed and your revenue generating projects. So the correct answer for this question will be again option D, that is all. So all these statements you must remember because ultimately when we talk about the REITs, these are the four most important statements. Then invitees, the infrastructure investment trusts. Here you have the first statement as it has two types of manager, investment and project manager. It has maximum 3 sponsors. The sponsors are mandatorily required to hold a minimum 10% stake in the trust for at least 3 years after the formation of your trust is there. Primary responsibility of the sponsor is to set up infrastructure investment trust and appoint a SEBI approved trustee. So the right answer will be option A, only two. This is the incorrect statement. Rest two are correct. Then for EPFO, you have to tell me which is the incorrect option here, incorrect statement. It was set up in 1952 and covers employees in specified economic sectors at firms with more than 20 employees. It is a statutory body under Ministry of Commerce or some other ministries there. EPFO administers the mandatory provident fund while outsourcing the management. The board is chaired by Ministry of Labor and Employment. The EPFO is apex decision-making body in case of the CBT or Central Board of Trustee. The right answer will be option C. That is only two. This is incorrect. Rest are the correct statements. Okay. Second is a wrong statement. Then for yuan number, universal account number, you have to tell which is the incorrect statement again. EPFO introduced the yuan, which acts as an umbrella for multiple member IDs allotted to the individual by different employers. Yuan is unique 15-digit number assigned to employees. It enables linking the three EPF accounts allotted to the single member, or for that matter, it was launched in October 2014 as a part of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Shram Jayate Karyakram. So the right answer will be option B only. That is 2 and 3 are incorrect. Okay, these two are incorrect. It's not 15 digit, right? What is the exact number of digit? Do let me know in the comment section. And it enables the linking of three EPF accounts allotted to a single member. Again, this is incorrect. Next, we have a question based on the type of lease. Which of the following describes the correct statement? Close and open-ended lease, upfront, back-end, percentage lease, and cross-border lease. What is the correct definition of different types of lease? So the correct definition will be your option C. That is all are correct. Close and open-ended. Close-ended, you will find that the asset gets transferred to the lessor at the end. And open-end, you have the option of purchasing the asset. The lessee has the option of purchasing that particular asset which it was using. Upfront back-end lease, again, upfront lease, higher the rental are charged and in the initial years and lower in the later year. Back-end lease, initial years, the lease rentals are less and they increase in the later years. For percentage lease, you will find that the lessor needs to pay fixed lease rental plus some percentage of your previous year's gross revenue. Cross-border lease, international lease also we know it like that. The lease and the lessor, leasee and the lessor are situated in two different countries. So all these are correct statement. Then you have a question based on the credit rating. What is the process of credit rating? How it goes? 9 steps are involved in the entire credit rating process. Quickly tell me the correct sequence. What is the first step out of these? Fine. So first step is entering into the agreement by the company, then appointment of the analytical team, obtaining information from the company. Then we have meeting of the company official, analysis of the company's financials, meeting of the rating committee. After that, we have communication of those ratings. Rating will be published and later on they will be monitored. So entering into the agreement will be the first one. Okay. So the correct answer will be option C. Then you have to tell me the incorrect statement with respect to the venture capital. Again, four options are there. The correct answer for this question, in the sense that which is the wrong statement. So the right answer will be three only. Only this statement is wrong. That is venture capital is termed as low risk, high return. No, venture capital is known as the high risk and high return capital. Definitely, it is for the long-term investment in a business which has the potential for the growth, and we have the probability of loss as quite high. And also, the investors which make the investment, they seek private equity stakes. So 1, 2, and 4 are correct. Third is the incorrect option or the false statement. Then we have the securities transaction tax. Which of the following is are the correct statement regarding the STT? STT is securities transaction tax or some other. It is levied by the particular stock exchanges. All the transactions that are done on the stock exchanges at rates prescribed by the central government from time to time. It came into effect from 1st October 2004. it in order to reduce the transaction cost in the capital markets, the STT was reduced to 0.1% on cash delivery transaction as on the budget 2015-16. So correct statement will be all except 4. So this is wrong. In the budget 2015-16, no, it was not there. But security transaction tax, it is levied on all the transaction done on the stock exchanges at the rate which is prescribed by the government of India, and it came into effect on 1st October 2004. Then we have ASPA facility, that is application supported by blocked amount in a rights issue. Which of the following conditions must be met by an applicant shareholder to be permitted to use the ASPA? So please tell me what is the right answer here. In the ASBA, you must be having the shareholder who is applying through the blocking of funds in the bank account with the SCSB, that is self-certified syndicate bank. And the list of these banks, it is published where, that also you must know, it is published under the website of SEBI. Okay. SEBI has been specifying the investors who can apply for the ASBA, and these are the conditions which you have to meet. Next, we have question on FIMDA, Fixed Income Money Market and Derivatives Association of India. What is the exact role? The key role is to function as principal interface with the regulators on issues impacting the functions of bond, money, and derivatives markets. Okay, SRO, as an SRO, it is working in our country. Then what will be the correct nomenclature for these central government security issued in March 2025? 15 years is the time period for which it has been issued. Coupon rate is mentioned as 6.5%. Again, this question has been asked in the previous exam cycle, so you must know the nomenclature also. So the correct nomenclature will be your 6.50 GOI 2040. You have to add 15 years in the 2025 and arrive at the maturity year. Next, credit ratings are broadly classified into 3 main categories that indicate the level of creditworthiness. Which of the following options correctly lists these 3 classified grades? So, what is the right answer? Again, high investment grade, and speculative grade. Do remember these 3 are very, very important. Okay, so the 3 CRAs in our country, CRISIL, we have the India ratings, then ICRA, CARE, Brickwork, Informex, and the Acute Rating and Research Limited. Which of the following is not stated as the objective of AMFI, Association of Mutual Funds in our country? So yes, when you talk about to promote the best business practices, yes, that is the function objective of AMFI. Then to act as direct regulatory authority, no, that is not correct. Interact with SEBI for the betterment of mutual fund industry, again, right? Promote nationwide investor awareness program, again, that is correct. B is the incorrect statement. Set up in 22nd August 1995. When was the riskometer for mutual fund product labeling modified to include the 6 risk level? So the correct answer for riskometer amendment was 2020. So here you can see in 2015 it started, in 2020 we have amended. Okay, so this was it for today's mini marathon. I hope that now you know for sure what are the most important topics in module C and D. If you have any kind of doubt, do let me know in the comment section. And for all of you, one piece of information that right now we are having maximum discounts on the JAIIB and CAIIB Mahapack. So for more details regarding the maximum discounts, you can contact us on 0981 981 9247, and the discount code which you can use is Y1003. All the best for your examination.
Good evening, everyone. How are you all? So first of all, good evening to all of you. Welcome to the JAIIB CAIIB English Medium channel. First, let me know, is audio and video both are okay? Are we good to go? So let me know, is audio and video both are okay? Are we good to go? Good evening to all of you. Can we start? Is audio and video both are okay? So in today's session, we will be talking about the module A and B mini marathon. So we have completed module C and D marathon. We have done a separate module C marathon, and now we will be talking about a module A and B marathon. Okay. So I guess everything is okay. Just give me a thumbs up or do write all okay so that I can continue, so that I can start the session. So the same pattern we will be following, which we are doing in every marathon. First, I will show you the question. You have to answer the question. I will tell you which one is correct. And then a little explanation we will have of the question. And the last of the session, I will be asking how many answers you have given correct. Okay. So let's start. First of all, let's start with the first question, that is talking about read the following statement carefully and choose the correct option. We have two statements. Out of these two statements, which one is a correct option, you have to find out. Okay, all okay? Chalo, thank you so much everyone. So because I am taking a session live, in between the session, if you have any doubt, if you have any queries, you can ask. Okay, let's start, and keep participating in the session, like keep answering the question. It's very important that you participate in the session and analyze yourself that how many answers you are given correct. So keep counting the number you are answering correct. So first is saying, in the command economy, the government addresses the minor economic questions by virtue of its ownership of resources and its power to enforce the decision. Second is saying, a market economy is the one in which individuals and private firms make the major decisions about production and consumption. So which of the following is correct? When it comes to the economic system of a country, we have three types of economic system: capitalistic economy, socialistic economy, and mixed economy. Capitalistic economy also called as a market economy and laissez-faire economy. Socialistic economy is also called as a command economy and planned economy. And mixed economy is also named as a dual economy. Keep listening whatever I am talking, what I am telling in this session. Keep focus on that as well, because a lot of things we will be discussing only which won't be written on a slide. So keep listening as well. Okay, so I have told you there are three economic systems: capitalistic, socialistic, mixed. Capitalistic is also called as a market economy, laissez-faire economy. Socialistic is also called as a command economy, planned economy, and mixed economy is also called as a dual economy. Okay, let's start. So it is saying, in the command economy, command means it's a socialistic economy. The government addresses the minor economic questions by virtue of its ownership of resources and its power to enforce the decision. Very good. Everyone is saying C. Why C? Does government takes the minor economic questions? No, it will be major economic questions. Why it will be minor? The command economy is a socialistic economy, which is also called as a planned economy. So how we are addressing minor economic question? No, we are talking about major economic questions. So first is definitely wrong. Second is saying a market economy is the one in which individuals and private firms make the major decision about production and consumption. That's true. So first is incorrect, but second is correct. Your right answer will be B option. Right answer will be B option. Keep reading every question, every option with each and every word. Focus on everything. Might be a many very minor changes have been done in the statement and which make the answer right or wrong. So the first one is wrong. Why? Because it's saying minor economic questions. We are not talking about minor economic questions. We are talking about command economy, which is studying the whole economy, which runs the whole economy by the government, and that is called as a major economic questions we are talking about. So right answer is B option. Okay, next. Mark the incorrect points in relation to the concept of jobless growth. Mark the incorrect relation or mark the incorrect points in relation to the concept of jobless growth. First, if we talk about India, definitely India is having a jobless growth. Hana, we can simply say definitely India is having a jobless growth. So first is saying jobless growth is an economic phenomena in which the economy grows while maintaining or lowering its employment level. Second is saying it can be caused by a variety of economic factors, including the structural factor, stringent labor laws, a stronger reliance on labor-intensive industry, particularly in growing economy. Third, Economists refer to recent Indian growth as jobless growth since the rate of employment growth is much more than the rate of population growth. Fourth is saying similarly the average annual growth rate of the economy, which was approximately 7%, outpaced the employment growth 1.8%. And the fourth option is saying here only 4. Fourth option we have only 4. So you have to answer which of the following statement about the jobless growth is incorrect. A, B, C or D. I am getting option B. What about others? Okay, B option is there. Okay, let's see. So first of all, we are talking about jobless growth is an economic phenomena. It's an economic phenomena in which economy grows while maintaining or lowering the employment level. That's true. Anna, that's definitely correct. Second is saying it can be caused by a variety of economic factors, including a structural factor, stringent labor laws, and stronger reliance on labor-intensive industry. No. If it would be a labor-intensive industry, there will be no issue of jobless growth. It's a capital-intensive industry we are having. Okay, so second is wrong. Economists refer to recent Indian growth as jobless growth since the rate of employment growth is much more than the population growth. No, the population growth is much more than the employment growth. So third is also wrong. Similarly, the average annual growth rate of the economy, which was approximately 7%, outpaced the employment growth that was only 1.8%. So population was growing at 7%. But at the same time, employment was growing at a 1.8% only. So definitely the right answer will be second and third is wrong. B option will be correct. Okay, right answer will be B. Second and third is incorrect. Question is asking about the incorrect statement. Second is incorrect because it's saying labor intensive. Third is incorrect because it's saying employment is more than the population. No, if in fact population is more than the employment growth. So you can see jobless growth is an economic phenomena in which economy grow while maintaining or lowering its employment level. And you can see we have a stronger reliance on the capital intensive industry. Okay. And economists refer to recent Indian growth as a jobless since the rate of employment growth is much less than the rate of population growth. And the solution to jobless growth is what? Solution is that simply encourage the entrepreneurial instincts, like make more and more people, promote or motivate them or encourage them to start their own business. That will solve the problem of jobless growth. Like a startup India, stand-up India is there. They all are doing the same thing. We are focusing on the reforms on the education system. We are making sure that the desired skill sets will be given to the people. We are promoting labor intensive industry. So this is the solution to the jobless growth. Now, which out of the following is our correct regarding CRR? Correct regarding CRR, fourth statement is saying all are correct. We have to find out the correct answer. Low volume. Is everyone having this audio issue? Let me know. Is everyone having any audio issue? No? Chalo, thank you so much, Amit sir. No issues are there? Okay. If you are having any audio issue, do check your volume first. Chalo. So first is saying section 42(1) of RBI Act 1934 lays the foundation for maintaining CRR by scheduled commercial bank with RBI. And that's true. All the scheduled commercial banks have to maintain CRR in form of cash with RBI. So right answer first is correct. Definitely first is correct. And it is defined under section 42(1). Section 24 of Banking Regulation Act 1949 provides the power to RBI to levy CRR on banks. No. Section 24 of Banking Regulation Act talks about the SLR. Second is wrong. Third, bank cannot earn profit on CRR. That's true. So first and third, it means A and C is correct. So right answer will be A. Yes, section 24 is all about SLR. So right answer will be your A option that says option only A and C will be correct. Okay. Next question. Which of the following statement is true about laissez-faire economy? The statement true about laissez-faire economy. Which one is correct? First is saying it is a branch of socialism that focuses exclusively on welfare economy. Second is saying it involves economic transaction between private parties without any intervention from the state or government. Third is saying it is a term which denotes the economic transaction that are carried out by the state or government, and none of the above. So the name of laissez-faire economy, we can call it it can be called as a market economy. It can be called as a capitalistic economy. So capitalistic economy, market economy, laissez-faire economy, all the three are same. Okay. And I am getting option number A and B. Why there is difference in the answer? This is a very simple question. We are talking about market economy. First is saying branch of socialism. No, definitely not. It involves economic transaction between private parties without any intervention of the state or government. That's true. In terms of it is a term which denotes economic transactions that are carried out by the state. No, it is carried out by the private industrialists. That's why the laissez-faire economy is there. So right answer is B. Okay, right answer will be your B option. Next. Round revolution is connected to what? Revolution, I guess you all are aware about that. There are a lot of revolution, and one of the revolution they keep asking. Sometimes they ask the father of the revolution, sometimes they ask the revolution related to which product or service. Okay, so round revolution is very easy. It is related to B, that is potato. And these are the list of your revolutions. Hana, do revise these revolutions once, or if possible, do revise it between 2 or 3 days gap. Before the paper, do revise that 2 or 3 times. Okay. So all these are the revolution we have. Now, the supply side economics lays greater emphasis on the point of view of dash. So we are talking about supply side economics. So when we talk about the supply side economics, it lays the greater emphasis on the point of view of what? Producer, global economy, consumer, or middleman. A, B, C, or D. Supply side economics lays greater emphasis on the point of view of producer. It's a supply side economy. The supply will be a point of view of a producer. If we talk about demand side economics, it will be about the consumer. Okay, supply side economics runs on the producer's point of view. Because if we can say supply side is running on the basis of the customer view. So right now customer is asking for 100 products, but you are only providing the 50 products. Then why there is a gap in the supply and demand? So if you are going for a supply side economics, it's greater emphasis on the point of view of consumer, then it should be equivalent to the demand of a consumer. No, it's the point of view of producer. According to the resources, according to the capabilities, the producer is providing supply in the market. Okay, so that's why right answer is A. According to the amendment RBI Act, of how often is the inflation target set by the government of India in consultation with Reserve Bank? Also, let me know the current target. Current inflation target. What is the current inflation target? Once every month, once every 3 years, once every 2 months, once every 5 years. So when the inflation target will be set by the government after consulting with RBI? After how many duration we do this? Very good. Once every 5 years. An inflation target will be set by the government of India in consultation with RBI under the monetary policy reforms. Under the monetary policy. And right now inflation target is 4% with the plus minus 2% raise. So it can be minimum 2%, it can be maximum 6%, but the inflation target is 4%, and it is decided in the year 2021. It will remain the same till 2026. In every 5 year, the government of India take this target in consultation with RBI for the next 5 years. And right now it is 4% plus minus 2%. And it does in the monetary policy. Okay. Asha, now next question is, as per the amendment RBI Act, what is the inflation target set by the government of India for the period from 1st April 2021 to 31st March 2026 with the upper and lower tolerance limit? So what do you think, which one is correct out of these four? Although you have given the answer of this question, but still let me know. 2% with an upper tolerance limit, 4% with upper tolerance limit, 6%. So we know 2% is not the inflation target, 6% is not the inflation target, 8% is not the inflation target. Inflation target is 4% with the upper tolerance 6, lower tolerance 2. So right answer is B. Okay, right answer will be your B option. Clear? Next. So this is the inflation target set by Government of India in consultation with RBI once in every 5 years. Okay, and it was taken in 2016 to 21, then 2021 to 26, which is now 4% plus minus 2%. Okay, next. Read the following statement carefully and choose the correct option. So again, two statements are there in front of us. We have to find out the correct statement. First is saying that economics is the psychology that deals with the production, allocation and use of goods and services. Second is saying in the socialistic economy, the government addressed the minor economic questions by virtue of its ownership of resources and its power to enforce the decision. Which one is correct? Which one is a correct statement? A, B, C or D? D and A, two options are coming. Statement 2, you are asking for the socialistic economy, Amit sir, or for the last question you are asking? So you can see economics is the psychology that deals with the production. No, it's a science. Economics is the science that deals with the production, allocation and use of goods and services. First is wrong and the second is definitely wrong. It's talking about minor economic questions. It should be major economic questions. Both the statements are wrong. And you have taken the answer on the basis of the first question we have discussed, that the minor should be wrong, and you have not given focus on the first statement. Don't do this in the paper. Okay, first one is also wrong, second one is also wrong. Why? First one is, it's not a psychology, it's a science. Economics is the science which deals with the production, allocation, use of goods and services. Okay, next. So right answer is D. What is net domestic product? What is net domestic product? NDP. The total, first is saying the total value of all goods and services produced within a country's border, including depreciation. Second is saying the total value of goods and services produced within a country's border without considering the depreciation. Third, the total value of all goods and services produced within a country's border, subtracting depreciation. Fourth, the total value of all goods and services produced by the country's citizen, regardless of where they are located. So to answer any questions related to GDP, you have to understand the basic concepts behind it. Whenever it comes to domestic product, I will let you know. First, let me know the answer, then I will give you the idea of all the four terminologies so that you won't get confused. Everyone is saying C. Some are saying D also. C and D, two options are coming. So first is saying including the depreciation, definitely not. Total value of goods and services produced within a country border without considering depreciation, no. The total value of goods and services produced within a country border subtracting depreciation, yes, it is correct. Fourth is wrong because it's saying regardless of where they are located, no, it is wrong. So right answer will be C option. Okay, and how to remember this? 1 second, let me add a slide here. How to remember this? First of all, do understand what is the meaning of gross. Gross means the total value. The total value of a product is named as a gross value. Then we have a net. Net means remained value. Net means the remained value that the product have remained with. So what happened? Let's say I wanted to purchase the Samsung 17 Pro. And similarly, let's take one person. Shivani ma'am wants to purchase the same Samsung iPhone 17 Pro. We both want to purchase the same. And let's assume the price of this price of the phone is a 2 lakh rupees. So one side we have a Shivani ma'am and one side I am there. We both want to purchase the same product. Hana, now you have to answer me. We both want to purchase the same product. Shivani ma'am have a savings of 5 lakh. So she went to where? She went to the Apple store and she have purchased the product. Okay. But now I only have a 1.5 lakh rupees, but I want the same phone. How I will be capable of purchasing the same phone? The price of a phone is 2 lakh rupees. I want to purchase it in 1.5 lakh because I don't have any other money. And I cannot be able to arranging the remaining 50,000 rupees. So will I be capable of purchasing the same phone or not? Let me know. What should I do? Answer quickly. If you don't know, just write don't know. So when it comes to, we both want the same product. One person had the same amount of money. The person went to the shop and purchased the product. But I don't have that money. So what I can do? No, I cannot take an installment. My credit history is not good. Let's say, for example, so bank is not providing me the loan. I don't have the option of taking it on a loan, an installment in EMI. Any other option you have? Everyone is saying installment. No, I will take a second hand phone. No? I will take a second hand phone. I want to purchase the same phone and I want to purchase it 1.5 lakh rupees because that's the amount of money I have. So what I will do, there is another person, let's say for example, Sony ma'am is there. There is another person, Sony ma'am is there and she is selling her phone after 6 months she bought. So she has bought at 2 lakh rupees. After 6 months, she is selling the phone at 1.5 lakh. So I have purchased from her. So these are the two types of market. One is the primary market where the fresh products are available. Second is a secondary market in which already sold and bought product will be traded. So what I have done, I have purchased in 1.5 lakh. Shivani ma'am have purchased into the 2 lakh rupees. So 2 lakh is what? 2 lakh is the gross value of a product. 2 lakh is what? It's a gross value of a product. And remaining value of a product is 1.5 lakh. Why remaining? Because for the period of 6 months, Sony ma'am has used that phone. And because of 6 months, let's say she have drained the battery or some screen have been broken or something like that happened. So the value of the product have been depreciated. So that's why we both are able to purchase the same product but at a different prices. And why it is happening? Because when Shivani ma'am have purchased that product, she purchased it at a gross value, the total value of a product without deducting anything. But when I have purchased, I have to deduct the depreciation value from that. So we wanted to calculate the net value. It will be calculated by gross minus depreciation. Okay, gross minus depreciation. So for 6 months, it have been utilized. Okay, so that's why I will be getting the same product at 1.5 lakh. Clear? Then next we have domestic product. Next we have a domestic product. When it comes to the domestic product, what is domestic product? The product which have been produced within the geographical boundary of a country only. Whatever the product we are producing, it should be produced within the geographical boundary of a country. So in the domestic product, we have to focus on this geographical boundary. Okay, now within this geographical boundary, whether it is produced by Indian or whether it is produced by foreigner, doesn't matter to us. The what thing matter, domestic product is the product which have been produced within the geographical boundary of a country. So in the domestic product, you have to focus on geographical boundary of a country. So whatever production happened between the geographical boundary of a country, that's your domestic product. What is national product? What is national product? National product is the product which is produced by the nationality of our country. It means whenever the product is produced by the citizen of our country, this person is Indian, let's say, and whenever he is producing the product, whether in geographical boundary or whether outside the geographical boundary, that will be a national product. So in the national product, we have to focus on the citizen. In the national product, we have to focus on whom? We have to focus on the citizen of a country. So whenever the citizen of a country producing the goods within the geographical boundary or outside the geographical boundary, it doesn't matter. What matter is the person should be citizen. Then it will be a national product. Clear? Then next we have market price. Whatever product we are purchasing at a market price, it have to be included in the taxes. So definitely whenever we calculate any value, GDP, GNP, NDP, NNP, whatever we are calculating in market price, we have to add the indirect taxes. What we have to add? We have to add the indirect taxes. Then we have a factor cost. Factor cost means at the time of factor of production, we are calculating the value of GDP, GNP, NDP, NNP. So on the factor cost, if we talk about factor of production, at the time of production process, the government provides us the subsidy, which have to be included in the factor price or factor cost. So we have to add the subsidies value. Okay, let's say for example, if I am saying GDP, what is GDP? Simply consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus net export. This is the GDP. This is the formula of GDP. I guess every one of you is aware about this. Consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus net exports. Okay? And now they are asking to calculate the GDP market price. What I will do? I have to add the indirect taxes. So simply GDP plus I have written indirect taxes. That's a GDP market price. If I have to calculate GDP factor cost, what I have to do? I can simply write GDP plus subsidies, because in the factor cost, the subsidies given by the government will be there. Acha, to calculate the same formula, to calculate the same value, what I can do? Or I can write like this: GDP market price minus indirect taxes plus subsidy. This is also the option I can use. Okay, this is also the option I can use. So this is how we calculate the market price and factor cost. Whenever you are calculating market price, do remember indirect taxes have to be added. Whenever you are calculating factor cost, do remember subsidy have to be added. If you remember, if you have understood these 6 terms, if you understand, gross means the total value, net means remained value, domestic product means the production happened within the geographical boundary, whether done by Indian or foreigner. National product means production done by citizen of a country, whether in India or outside the country. Market price means we have to add the indirect taxes. Factor cost means we have to add the subsidy. If we understand this logic, then we will be able to calculate any formula from any form, from any calculation. Clear? National product simply says the production done by the citizen of a country within a financial year within India or rest of the world. Or we can say, what is national product? The production or the money value of all final goods and services produced by the citizen of a country within or outside the geographical boundary of a country. That's a national product. Okay, so citizen you have to focus on, like the production should be made by the citizen only, then it will be counted under the national product. And the citizen can produce that product in India, it can be produced the product in the outside the country. Clear? Everyone, let me know. Till now everything is clear. Let me know once. Any other doubt? If clear, then do write clear so that I can continue. So these 6 terms are important to understand because conversions are also there. You have to convert domestic product into national product. You have to convert market price into factor cost. You might have to convert net into gross. So the conversions you will be able to understand when you understand the concept behind these 6 terms. Okay, next. To limit the global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius, scientists recommended that by 2030, global emissions should be cut by dash compared to 2010 level. 45%, 25%, 5% or 10%. A, Okay, very good. It is 45%. Anna, it have to be cut by the 45% compared to the 2010 level. So you can see, to limit the global warming, scientists recommended by 2030 the global emission should be cut by 45%, which is compared to the 2010 level. And according to the national commitments, we have seen the global emission has set to increase 14% during the rest of the decade. Decade means the period of 10 years. In the these period of 10 years, we can see the global emission will increase by 14%. Okay. Highlight the wrong statement in relation to the concept of sustainable development goals. And fourth statement is saying, acha, 1 second. No, let's ignore that question. Next, we have dash refers to the development that meets the need of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their needs. The last question I forgot to update, Hannah, so let's leave that question. Let's move forward. Next is saying dash refers to the development that meets to the need of the present generation, but at the same time we are not compromising the ability of the future generation. What does this actually cause? Is it the environmental impact? Is it sustainable development? Is it global warming? Is it none of the above? Okay, I am getting option number B. Chalo, done. Very good. The right answer is B option, sustainable development. So sustainable development says use your resources in such a way that you will be able to fulfill your requirement. At the same time, you are not compromising the needs of a future generation. So right answer is sustainable development. Okay, and these are the 7 sustainable development goals we have. You can see. Okay. So sustainable development goals have been introduced in 2015. It have to be achieved by 2030. And sustainable development goals have been made by United Nations General Assembly. Before sustainable development goals, we used to have a millennium development goals, and the millennium development goals used to be 8 goals, but now we have a 17 goals. Every goal you have to remember, because directly they ask which of the following is the SDG goal 11, and they will give you the option. Then you have to remember what is the 11th goal of SDG, and the maximum they ask about the climate change. Okay, maximum they ask about the climate change. Now, what does a shift in demand curve indicates? What does the shift in demand curve indicates? First is saying a movement along the demand curve due to the changes in price, a change in consumer preference causing a change in the quantity demanded at each price level. Third is saying an alteration in the quantity demanded at a specific price level due to changes in income, taste, or other factor holding the price constant. Fifth is saying a change in the quantity demanded at a price level resulting from factors such as changes in income, population, or technology. So what do you think? What does the shift in demand curve indicates? A, B, C, or D? Shift in demand curve indicates. D option you are saying, are you sure? So what actually the demand curve is? This is a demand curve. The demand curve slope will always be downward. Okay, this is your demand curve. The slope is downward. And there is a shift in demand curve. Shift means it can go to left side or right side. This is the shift. And the shift in the demand curve happens only when we find the factor which have to be remain constant. Like every time we talk about law of demand, law of supply, or any type of demand or any type of product, when we talk about in the demand and supply chapter, we use one statement before that. Other things remains constant. Like the law will only apply when the other things remains constant. Then only this law will apply. Hana, other things remains to be constant. Then only the law of demand will apply. Law of demand says what? When the price is increasing, the quantity demanded will decrease. And if the price is decreasing, the quantity demanded will increase. This is what the law of demand says. And from this law of demand, we make the demand curve. Hana, from this law of demand, we made the demand curve. And this demand curve represents the shift. Why? Because the factors or the things we wanted to remain constant, they have been made changes in. What are these things? It can be income, it can be your taste, it can be your way of using or way of making the product, it can be the preference of a customer. So all of these will be there. Okay, so first is saying movement along with the demand curve. No, this is not a movement. Movement is what? This is the movement when the curve increase upward or downward. Left and right will be shift. This is a shift. Left and right will be a shift, and movement will be a up and down. This is a movement. So we are not talking about movement. So first is wrong, definitely. Second is saying here a change in consumer preference causes a change in quantity demanded at each price level. No. An alteration in the quantity demanded at a specific price level due to change in income, taste or other factor holding the price constant. No, price cannot be the constant here. A change in the quantity demanded at all price level resulting from factors such as changes, income, population, technology. That's correct. Right answer is D. Very good. So some people were saying D in the starting. Now you are saying C. Why C? C is saying price have to be constant. No. If there is a shift, the price will also change. Okay. So right answer will be your D option. Clear? Now, law of demand shows a relationship between the dash. In what law of demand shows the relation? If you are not confirm about the last question, do one thing, just revise the law of demand chapter. In the law of demand, do remember, they represents the inverse relation between the price and quantity demanded. Demand curve have a downward slope, and shift will happen when the other things which used to be the constant, they have changed. It can be anything apart from price and quantity demanded. If there is a change in price and quantity demanded, that's what the law of demand actually made of. But if there is a change in other factors which remains to be constant, if they change, then the shift will happen. Okay, so see, I will write here. Movement in the demand curve happens when there is a changes in price and quantity demanded. But the shift in demand curve happen when the changes in other factors which should be constant. That can be anything but not the price and demand. Okay. Next. So definitely demand, law of demand saying quantity demanded, quantity supply, no. Income and quantity demanded, no. Price and quantity demanded of a country, yes. Sorry, commodity. So right answer is C. And what relation the law of demand shows? It shows the price and quantity demanded have a inverse relation. If one increases, the other will decrease, and vice versa. So right answer is C. Price and quantity demanded of a commodity will be shown on a law of demand. Okay. Now, so this relation called inverse relation, it can be called negative relation, it can be called opposite relation. Right answer is C. So when the price of a commodity raised, buyer tend to buy less of the commodity. Similarly, when the price was lowered, the other things being constant, the quantity demanded increase. Okay, that's the law of demand. The supply exceeds the demand and stocks are piling up. The workers are retrenched, the business failure increases. Unemployment leads to fall in income, expenditure, prices, trade, activities, etc. And these are features of dash phase of business cycle. So a paragraph have been given to you about a situation of any economy, and you have to answer which phase of business cycle is it. Is it a depression, deflation, recession or recovery? Let me know the answer. A, B, C or D? C, you guys are saying that's a recession, okay? So business cycle is a wave-like movement, है ना? Business cycle, or you can call it economic cycle, you can call it a trade cycle, है ना? They all are same. And in the business cycle, it's a wave-like movement. This is a business cycle. Because it looks like a wave, that's why we say it's a wave-like movement. है ना? It have a 4 phases. Boom, that can also be called as a peak. We have recession, depression, recovery. These are the 4 phases. Okay? Now we are saying supply exceeds the demand. Like supply is more than demand. It means definitely prices are declining. Okay? And stocks are piling up because people are not purchasing, people are not demanding goods, so you do not have a selling in the market. The workers have been removed, like they have been cut off from the business, we can say. The business failure increases and unemployment leads to fall your income, expenditure, price, trade activities, etc. Definitely it's a recession. Hana, definitely it's a recession feature. So this is a feature of recession phase in the business cycle. Right answer is C. Now, which among the following is not a part of total non-tax revenue? Not a part of total non-tax revenue. So we know that budget have a 2 components, revenue budget, capital budget. Okay, revenue budget is a day-to-day budget, short-term budget, capital budget is a long-term budget. In revenue budget, we have a revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. I will make this here. Until you are answering the question, I will write it here. So the components of budget we have revenue and capital. In revenue, we have revenue receipts and revenue expenditure. In capital receipts, in capital budget, we have capital receipts. Receipts means income, and capital expenditure. Okay, the capital receipts include tax revenue and non-tax revenue. They are the day-to-day income of the government. Revenue expenditure includes the recurring expenditure. It includes recurring expenditure of government. Like every time the government have to make this expenditure. For example, you have to pay subsidies, you have to pay pension, you have to pay the salaries. That's a revenue expenditure. Capital receipts is debt receipts and non-debt receipts. That is long term and both are long term but related to loan and investment. Capital expenditure is a expenditure which make assets of government. It makes the assets for government. That's a capital asset. It's not recurring in nature. Capital assets is not recurring. If example we ask, like dams, hospitals, schools, power plants, such kind of let's say assets government are building, that's a capital expenditure. It's a long-term expenditure and it creates income for the government. It does what? It creates the income for the government. So this is the component of budget. Now you have to answer about non-tax revenue. The revenue which have been generated without the taxes. First is saying corporation tax, income tax, wealth tax, GST, compensation tax, other taxes, duties, custom and service tax, union excise duty, and taxes of union territories. Which of the following is not a part? It's a simplest question I can say. And still you all are giving wrong answer. Why? What's wrong? Non-tax income means the income which have been earned by the government by day-to-day funds and it do not involve tax. Now, the name says non-tax. The name is saying non-tax revenue. It means it won't involve the taxes. So it means definitely they all are not the part of your non-tax revenue because they all are the tax revenue. Okay, right answer is D. Interest receipt, dividend, profit, grants, fine, penalties. Yes, they all are the non-tax revenue. Very good. And B and D, maximum have given the D option, but some are saying B also. B is definitely wrong. The right answer is your D option. All of the above are not a part of your non-tax revenue. Non-tax revenue means the grants, the interest payments you got, the penalties, they all are the non-tax income which the government earn from day-to-day business or day-to-day activities. Now, which phase of business cycle is also known as the crisis? Which phase of business cycle is also known as the crisis? Boom, depression, recovery, recession. Also called as a crisis. Very good. It's a recession. Recession is also called as a crisis. And our right answer is D. Now, following are the major characteristics of recession. There is a general decline in demand as economic activity slow down. Inflation remains low and it still further goes falling. Employment falls and employment rises. Industry resort to price cut to stay in the business. Okay, so that's the characteristics of recession. Now, read the following statement carefully and choose the incorrect answer related to corporate social responsibility. Okay, you have to answer incorrect statement about CSR. Incorrect statement about CSR. First is saying Section 130 of Companies Act 2013 provides legal support for CSR in India. Second is saying in the latest development, non-compliance with CSR provision is now civil wrong, not a crime, and shifted such violation to a penalty design. The penalty at least ₹1 crore for defaulting company and at least 2 lakh for each defaulting officer were introduced in 2020 to replace the imprisonment provision of maximum 3 years for defaulting officer that was brought in 2019. What do you think? Which one is incorrect? So definitely CSR have been made civil wrong from the criminal offense. Earlier the CSR non-compliance used to be taken as a criminal offense, and when it used to be taken as a criminal offense, we have seen that non-compliance of CSR used to invite the imprisonment of 3 years. Okay, but now it have become civil wrong, so now you have to pay only penalty if you are not fulfilling the compliance of CSR. And what penalty it will be? 1 crore rupees for the defaulting company, 2 lakh rupees for each defaulting officer. And so second and third statement is correct. First is wrong. It should be 135 section. Okay, so right answer is only one is wrong. It should be section 135. Next. So you can see section 135, it is defined. Then schedule 7 of Companies Act 2013 talks about the several SDG associated goals, which includes to eliminate hunger, poverty and malnutrition. That's what the schedule 7 says, that we are trying to attempt to eliminate the hunger, poverty and malnutrition from the country. Okay, and CSR is the voluntary incorporate economic, social and environmental obligation into business operation in order to achieve the long-term growth, demonstrate a beneficial impact on the environment, employees, consumers, shareholder and communities. Okay, Acha, also on the CSR they have asked the numerical question as well. So they can give you the values of the profit of a company and they will ask to calculate the CSR. So one numerical we have to prepare on CSR also. Okay. Now, what is not one of the pillar of Make in India program? Deflation. Deflation is simply opposite of inflation. Okay, Shruti ma'am. Deflation is the opposite of inflation, in which the money supply decreases from the country, and because of that people stop demanding the goods, because of which the supply will increase in the market and the prices started declining. That decline in the prices is called deflation. And in this situation, the money value, or we can say purchasing power of money increases. Why the purchasing power of money increase? Because you are purchasing the same goods at the lower prices. Let's say I purchased this pen at 100 rupees, but right now there is an inflation, so decline in the prices will happen. Now in 100 rupees I am purchasing these 2 pen. Earlier I have purchased only 1 pen. So the capacity of 100 rupee which I have, its capacity to buy products have been increased. Because in 100 rupees, I am purchasing 2 products now. Earlier, I used to purchase 1 product. That is called the purchasing power of money. So in deflation, the always purchasing power of money increase. And it's the opposite of inflation. Okay, now, which one is correct here? Not one of the pillar of Make in India program. So Make in India program was mainly introduced to make India a manufacturing hub. Hana, it was introduced in September 2014. Okay, yeah, it was introduced in 2014. Or we can remember with the year of Mr. Modi's first election win. Okay, 2014. So Make in India have 4 pillars. Definitely new processes are there. Hana. Second, apart from that, new infrastructure is there. New government is not there, but the new sector is there. So what is the fourth one? It is new mindset. Hana, we are talking about new mindset. So this is the 4th pillar we have in the Make in India. And Make in India was made to introduce India a manufacturing hub. So because if India becomes a manufacturing hub, what will happen? The more and more production will happen in the country. So it was introduced in September 2014. We wanted to make India a manufacturing hub and a global design under the Make in India program. And new infrastructure, new mindset, new sector and new process. These are the 4 pillars of your Make in India. Okay, next. A wave of prosperity or depression in one industry in the case of a business cycle will generate a wave in other industries. Which of the following feature of business cycle it represents? A, B, C or D? A, B, C or D? Which one is correct here? Okay. So we are saying wave of prosperity or depression in one industry is there, and it will be in the case of business cycle, it will generate in the same, in the another industry also. So it's what? It's a synchronize. It's a synchronic business cycle. It is synchronic. It's sync with the other industry. If one industry is having depression, other will also have the same. One is having a prosperity, other will also have the same, because they are synchronic in nature. So right answer is B. Very good. Now, if RBI wants to reduce the liquidity from system, it should do what? RBI want to reduce the liquidity from the system. What have to be done by RBI? First is saying decrease the reverse repo rate. Second is saying decrease the repo rate. Third is saying increase the CRR rate. Fourth is saying decrease the SLR rate. What does RBI have to do to reduce the liquidity from the system? Okay, so reduced money supply from the market, RBI have to increase the monetary policy rates, and there is an increase on only one option, that is C answer. Right answer will be your C option. Okay, so right answer is C. Next, filling the blanks. According to Mr. Robbins' definition of economics is what? And this have been asked in the paper. In May 2025, Mr. Robbins' definition have been asked in the paper. Okay, there are 3 economists, Mr. Adam Smith, Mr. Robbins, Lynon Robbins, Mr. Alfred Marshall. They have given the 3 different definitions of your economics, out of which Alfred Marshall and Robbins have been asked in May 2025. Okay, so according to Mr. Robbins' definition of economics, first is saying dash are unlimited. The means to satisfy human wants are dash. Resources are not only limited but have dash. We have to make a dash. Okay, B option everyone is saying. So let's see. So first of all, Mr. Robbins have given the scarcity definition. He has given what? He has given the scarcity definition to us. And first is saying dash are unlimited. What are unlimited? Do we have needs unlimited or wants unlimited? Definitely wants are unlimited. So you can eliminate the needs. Acha, only A option will be eliminated because wants are unlimited. Okay. Then next is saying the means to satisfy human wants are dash. So definitely means resources. So they are what? They are limited. So definitely limited is given in both. So we cannot eliminate. Next is saying resources are not only limited, but they have what? Complementary uses. No, they have alternative uses. This can be removed. But because none of the above is given, we have to match all. Then we have to make a what? We have to make the choices. So right answer is definitely B option. Okay, right answer is B option. This is a scarcity which Mr. Robbins have given. Mr. Adam Smith have given the wealth definition. Mr. Alfred Marshall has given the welfare definition. Okay, do remember all the three. Underemployment of both men and material is a characteristics of which phase? Underemployment means what? You have to settle down with the lesser benefits, or we can say the lesser capabilities or the lesser options which you actually deserve more to. Depression, boom, recovery, recession. Underemployment of both men and material. And it happened with after COVID, if you remember, after COVID, we can say a lot of people have lost their job. A lot of people started working at half salary. And when the COVID went off and we have actually came back from the lockdown, company have used this underemployment of men. What they have done, they are offering very less job of the work that deserve more, and the person also deserves more on the basis of their qualification, but they have to settle down for the less duration, less amount of money, because there was no jobs in the market. So that is depression. Okay, right answer is depression. Correct. A. Sorry. Read the following statement carefully and choose the correct ones in relation to the concept of money supply. Relation to the concept of money supply, you have to answer which one is correct. A, B, C or D? So right answer will be B and C. You guys are saying money supply we are talking about. First is saying that money supply refers to the stock of money available in the economy at a given point of time. That's true. Money supply means what? The currency in circulation is money supply. Whatever currency is available in the circulation, that's a money supply. So first is correct. Second is saying money supply data are recorded and published by RBI on a weekly basis. No, it will be done on a fortnight basis. Okay, definitely RBI do this calculation. RBI publish the data with the help of M1, M2, M3, M4, but not weekly. It will be done fortnight basis. Then third is saying it is in the form of an Excel sheet given a statement of money supply. Also comparative figure of previous period. That's true. Money supply affects the price level, exchange rate and business cycle in the economy. That's also true. It may also affect the growth of GDP. That's also true. So second is wrong. All the other are correct. So 1, 3, 4, 5. Right answer is C. Correct. Very good. All are correct. So right answer what? C. And RBI gives this. RBI actually gives this data on a fortnight basis. So right answer will be C option. Now, which of the following statement is right about GDP deflator? And the D option we have C only. About GDP deflator. GDP deflator also asks the numerical. Numerical can be seen on the GDP deflator as well. Which one is correct about GDP deflator? First, the GDP deflator is a measure of the level of prices of all new domestically produced final goods and services in an economy in a year. Second, using the GDP price deflator helps economists compare the level of real economic activity from one year to another. Third is saying it is a measure of general price inflation calculated by dividing nominal GDP by real GDP, then multiplying by the 100. So which one is right about GDP deflator? C and D, two options are coming. Okay, first is saying it is a measure of level of price of all new domestically produced final goods services. That's true. Using the GDP price deflator helps economists compare the level of real economic activity from one year to another. That's also true. It is a measure of general price inflation calculated by dividing nominal GDP with real GDP multiplied by 100. That's also true. So right answer is C. Okay, right answer will be your C option. And if we talk about the formula of GDP deflator, we can calculate by dividing nominal GDP with nominal GDP divided by real GDP multiply by 100. This is your GDP deflator. I guess it's not visible, na? Nominal GDP divided by real GDP multiplied by 100. So right answer is C. Acha, when it comes to nominal GDP also called as a GDP at current price, and real GDP means GDP at constant price. Okay, do remember that. Now, this is a GDP deflator, measure of level of prices of all new domestically produced final goods and services in an economy. GDP deflator also called the implicit price deflator. It is a measure of inflation. It's a more comprehensive way to calculate the inflation. And this is the formula given here. Okay, next. Now, pick the correct statement. 3 statements are there in front of you and you have to pick the correct statement. First is saying nominal GDP is the money value of all the goods and services produced in a year. Second is saying nominal GDP is an indicator of the real performance of the economy as the price changes over time. Third is saying the real GDP is calculated as the money value of all goods and services produced in a year using the constant set of market prices that have prevailed in a certain chosen base year. So what do you think, which one is correct? A, B, C or D? Okay, C option everyone is saying. So when it comes to the nominal GDP, do remember nominal GDP is also called as a GDP at a current prices. Without adjusting inflation, we are calculating the value of GDP at a current prices. Okay, so nominal GDP is the money value of all goods and services produced in a year. That's true. Then nominal GDP is an indicator of the real performance of the economy as the price change over time. That's also true. The real GDP is calculated as a money value of all goods and services produced in a year using the constant set of market prices that have prevailed in the certain chosen base year. And that's also true. All the statement, acha, one second. No, it is saying prices change over time. We are not calculating the prices change. So what happens? Nominal GDP is the GDP at the current prices. It means between one financial year, whatever goods and services have been produced, whatever the price of those goods and services is there, that's the nominal GDP. Okay, let's say from 1st April 2025 to 31st of March 2026, we have produced 100 goods and the money value of those 100 goods is 1 lakh rupees. So 1 lakh rupees are nominal GDP. We are not doing any comparison. We are not adjusting the inflation. We are not seeing what price change happened over a time in the nominal. So it is wrong. Second is wrong. Okay. When it comes to real GDP is a GDP at constant prices. In the GDP in constant prices, we compare the current prices with the constant prices. Okay, we are comparing the current prices with the constant prices. So that's your real GDP. So right answer is A and C. First is correct, third is correct. So right answer will be C option. Okay, we have a C option answer. A and C is correct. So real GDP is a GDP at constant prices. Nominal GDP is a GDP at current prices. Okay. So in the real GDP, we adjust the inflation. In nominal GDP, we do not adjust the inflation. Then next we have match the followings. Then we have a match the followings. About business cycle characteristics. So we have a 3 characteristics of business cycle. You have to match them with the right explanation. How it is a real performance in the real GDP, you are asking why? Because we are comparing the prices. Let's say, for example, the good you are purchasing today. Let's say I am purchasing a cup. Okay, I am purchasing a coffee mug. Let's say, for example, which I have purchased in 2011. That's a base year of ours right now. In 2011, it was of 100 rupee, and today it became of 500 rupee. So now we are adjusting the base year prices with the current year prices. So we are eliminating the inflation. Eliminating the inflation will give us like how much actual production increase in the country. Okay, because see, the GDP increases because of 2 reasons. GDP increases because of 2 reasons. One reason is the actual production increase, and the second reason is inflation. Let's say in 2000, where would I write? Let's say in 2024, we have produced 100 goods. The price of these 100 goods was 1 lakh rupees. Okay. And in 2025, the same 100 goods have been produced, but because of the inflation, it became 1,10,000 rupees. The price became 1,10,000, let's say. So how GDP have been increased? The money value of final goods and services have been increased. So the inflation increased 10,000 rupees. So GDP became 1,10,000, but the actual production was 100. So in the real GDP, we don't get this mistake. In real GDP, we actually calculate what actual production happened in a financial year. That's why it is called as the real GDP. Okay, I guess this was your question. Hana, who have asked this question? Is it clear? Now, we have to answer the match the following. First is saying the period of prosperity and depression can be alternatively seen in a cycle. If you are able to see it alternatively, why you are able to see it? Because it is what we can say, it shows you in a way that is wave-like movement. Hana, I have just told you in the starting, this is a business cycle. This is prosperity, this is depression, and at the same time you can see them. Why? Because it shows as a wave-like movement. So second is A. If second is A, we can eliminate option number 1. We can eliminate option number 3 and 4. So right answer is definitely B. Okay, right answer is definitely B. Clear? And the various phases are repeated. Boom is followed by depression, and that depression is again followed by boom. So definitely it is what? It's a cyclical fluctuation, and upward and downward movements tend to occur almost same period because they are synchronic. That's why at the same time you are facing the both situations. So that is first is C, third is B, and second is A. Okay. There you can see business cycle is synchronic. Business cycle shows a wave-like movement. Cyclical fluctuation are recurring. There is no indefinite depression or eternal boom period. Business cycle is pervasive in their effect, like they are very big in their effect. The upward and downward movement are not symmetrical. Downward movement is more sudden and violent than the upward movement. They all are the characteristics of your business cycle. Hana, they all are what? They all are the characteristics of your business cycle. Chalo, next. Which of the following is statement not correct about Monetary Policy Committee? A statement not correct about Monetary Policy Committee. till 8 we will continue, है ना, around 8 we will end. D everyone is saying. Okay, what about others? Okay, so you can see it comprises of 6 members, where governor of RBI act as the ex officio chairman. Yes, it was created to bring transparency, accountability in deciding monetary policy rate. Yes, inflation target is set by government of India in consultation with RBI. That's also yes. So all are true statement. Hana? All the statements are true. So right answer is D. Next, demand schedule is the dash. What is demand schedule? What is demand schedule? Relationship between demand and quantity bought, relationship between price and quantity bought, relationship between income and demand, or none of the above. So demand schedule is simply it shows relationship between the price and quantity demanded on a table. That's all, only the difference. When we talk about demand curve shows the relationship between price and quantity demanded on a graph. That's why it's called as a demand curve. Demand schedule shows the same relation but in a tabular form. That's why we call it a demand schedule. Very good, it's a B. Price and quantity bought. Next, which among the following is a not correct function of WTO? Not correct function of WTO. In this chapter, do make sure before your paper, Hana, do revise WTO, IMF and World Bank. These 3 you have to revise. Regional economic organizations, a lot of regional economic organizations you have, Hana, and it's very hard to remember them. So do make sure WTO, World Bank and IMF, these 3 you cover in very detail. Administering WTO trade agreement, providing a forum for trade negotiation, handling trade dispute, monitoring national trade policy, technical assistance and training for developed country, cooperation with other international organizations. So what do you think? Which of the following is a not correct function of WTO? Only 5 you are saying. What about others? What will be correct answer? Okay, so definitely first is correct. Administering the WTO trade agreement, providing a forum for trade negotiation, handling trade dispute, monitoring national trade policy, technical assistance and training provided to developed country. No, to the developing country. Cooperation with other international organizations is correct. So right answer will be your only 5 is not a correct function of WTO. Okay, right answer will be B option. WTO other name? No, it used to be GATT. Earlier, General Agreement on Tariff and Trade used to be there. It have been changed into WTO. Hana, it became in 1948. It established in 1948. It was changed to WTO in 1995. Now, no other such name of WTO is there. Earlier, it used to be the GATT. Now, it became WTO in 1995. Next. Mark the incorrect statement in relation to the topic difference between organized and unorganized sector. D option is saying 1 only. Incorrect statement in relation to difference between organized and unorganized sector. Which one is correct? You have to answer. A, B, C or D? Which one is correct? First is saying the unorganized sector is a sector where the employment terms are fixed and regular. Definitely not. In organized, the job terms and job terms will be fixed, but not in unorganized. First is wrong. Worker enjoy the security of employment in organized sector. That's true. While in under unorganized sector, employment is not secure. That's also true. People can be asked to leave without any reason. That's also true. Third is saying organized sector is governed by various acts like Factories Act, Bonus Act, PF Act, Minimum Wages Act, and unorganized sector is not governed by any act. That's also true. So incorrect statement is only one. Right answer is D. Incorrect statement is only one. So right answer is D. Okay. Second and third is correct. Now, so meaning is simply organized sector is where the employment terms are fixed and regular, and employees get assured work. Unorganized is the characterized by the small and scattered unit which are largely not registered with the government. Okay. Next we have governed by various acts like Factories Act, Bonus Act, PF Act, Minimum Wages Act. Unorganized, it is not governed by any act. Then government rules are strictly followed in organized. It is not followed in the unorganized. Remuneration or regular monthly salary will be given to organized sector worker. In unorganized, they are getting daily wages. Job security will be there with the organized sector. Job security is not there with the unorganized sector. Then working hours are fixed. There is not fixed. Salary of workers prescribed by the government, it will be less than whatever prescribed by the government. Contribution to PF will be there in the organization but not in the unorganized. Increment in salary once in a while, like every year a minimum increment company gives to us, and not in unorganized sector. Then benefits, if we talk about here, you can see employee gets add-on benefit like medical facility, pension, leave, travel expenses, etc. But in unorganized, it's not provided. Okay. So like example, government employees are organized, industrial workers are organized. Then shopkeeping, farming, domestic workers are unorganized. Okay. So this is the difference between the organized and unorganized sector. Clear? Now I have a lot of questions still remaining. We are at 48th slide and I have 110 slides prepared. But definitely we don't have time that much to cover this. So we will be ending the session here, but definitely in the Maha Marathon, Maha Revision session, we will be covering the remaining session with remaining questions with all of you. Okay, so that's all for today. First, let me know how many answers you have given correct in today's session, or how many answers you have given wrong. Whatever you have counted, right or wrong answers, let me know how many answers correct or incorrect you have given. Also, Power Pack revision batch have been started, everyone, already from 25th of October. We have started Power Pack revision batch. Classes are already going on. If you haven't enrolled in that, do enroll, because definitely that batch is going to help you out a lot to revise the syllabus, to cover the practice, as well as to understand the concept. For that, download the application, go to the home page, select the exam category, JAIIB CAIIB, then the JAIIB November 2025. On the very first page, you will find the Power Pack revision batch. English medium, bilingual, both are available. Okay. So click on the batch, do read the offerings, live class, mock test, ebooks are there. When you scroll down, you will find the study plan of all the subject, and then click on the buy now option, enter a code here, Y496, and apply. Once you apply, you get your 82% discount, but if you enroll from our 24/7 application, you get 83% discount. Okay, and the code will remain the same on the application. That will be Y496, 83% discount will be there. The batch is already started. Tomorrow again you will be having a classes. Today we also had the classes. So if you haven't enrolled, enroll soon. And that's the maximum discount you are getting, 83%. 3 wrong, 1 wrong, 6 wrong. What about others? And also, if you are watching this session in recorded form, if you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. We'll continue in the next session on the JAIIB CAIIB English Medium channel only. So do subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, so that all the upcoming sessions notification will be provided to you by us. And do make sure every day now you have to practice mock test. Practicing mock test is very important till the next paper, till your paper comes. Okay, so do make sure every day you are giving one full length mock test. That's very important. Okay, so that's all for today. At the same time in the evening, 7 to 10 p.m. and the remaining I will inform in the in our paid classes group. Okay. Chalo. So let's end here. Thank you all for joining this session with me. Stay connected to the JAIIB CAIIB English Medium channel. Press the bell icon. Also, make sure that all the important session which we keep telling you, do watch this session. Do make sure you watch it, and do make sure you give the full and mock test. Okay. Thank you all for joining this session. Take care. Bye bye.